The album that you hold in your hands right now is in fact one of the rarest blues albums to have ever existed on vinyl. You are going to see some really nice records in this video with some really awesome music specifically. And that is really the main reason why I even make videos about Vinyl Me Please, because I love the record choices that they've dished out since I've signed up, and I love their exclusives, as you're gonna see in this video. And if you want to be a part of this company, it can be expensive. Not really that much more expensive than buying Tone Poets from Blue Note, including shipping. However, do what this awesome person did and use my code below to sign up and get up to $80 off for a year membership. And if you're thinking, oh my God, this guy is such a shill, or he is definitely an employee of this company because of the way that he's pushing all of this stuff, instead of using my code, reach out to @WCBJazzVinyl or @JazzBums, Felipe specifically, and ask one of those current members of Vinyl Me Please to use their Refer a Friend code and still get that same discount. And that way you don't have to support me at all, but you can still help yourself if you want to get a cheaper price on some great records. If you do use those codes, either for me or for them, we get a match on that promotion and you get a discount on the membership. So it really is a win-win for everyone. And the membership can be canceled at any time. You can swap for other items or credits, and this is real important, you can browse the site to see if you like their vinyl offerings before you sign up. Maybe only sign up for 3 months to see if you like it. They usually tell you ahead of time what the next 3 months offerings are going to be. Let's actually get to some records here, specifically the records of the month that I got for September. And again, they screwed me too. I didn't get this package until October 1st, and they screwed up my production schedule for making videos. And I am now only going to make 11 videos instead of 12 for this year for the records of the month that I set out to make. But god damn it, if these records in September and October were not amazing. I swapped out the Ramones record for the September Essentials, and I instead got this, A Tribe Called Quest, Low End Theory. Now, this was originally put out as an Essential Record of the Month way back in May of 2022, and at the time, it had the older hype sticker and OB, but now we have the updated OB, and this is the first time that this was ever reissued on a 2LP 45 RPM when this came out in May of 2022. This is cut by Ryan Smith at Sterling Sound. The cover is a beautiful matte black gatefold, and overall the entire package on this is flawless, and this came flawless in their terrible packaging, with a listening notes booklet from Marcus J. Moore and art print from Joe Grant. It comes on this almost neon green and red vinyl, which is just stunning looking. The vinyl sounds amazing. The separation of their voices and the bass from Ron Carter on this. If you're not familiar with this record, Ron Carter, jazz bass legend, is on this, as well as samples from Grant Green and Funkadelic. This is truly an essential record to have in your collection if you're at all a fan of hip hop or jazz or funk or anything that grooves. You will absolutely love this record. A lot of people have raved about this pressing out there too, and I think it's great that 2 years after this came out initially, you can still get it from Vinyl Me Please, which is pretty awesome. You can also get it on like Discogs too, so again, if you don't want to go to Vinyl Me Please and get it, you can just go get it on Discogs, and it's a fantastic pressing of one of the greatest records of all time. The next record we have here, and we are going to burn through these since we have 2 months to go over here. The next record is another that I completely, totally took a chance on, which is, again, why I personally love this service. I usually like all of the classics records that they put out, which, by the way, this might technically be like one of the last classics records. I think they're changing the name to Jazz, Funk, Blues, and Soul. I'm not sure if that's going to show up on the OBs each month or if they're actually going to officially change the name from classics or not. But the classics record of the month for September of 2024 is Junior Wells' It's My Life, Baby, AAA lacquer cut from Ryan Smith at Sterling Sound. And this has, again, the new Classics OB, which even states that this is 1 part studio album and 1 part live show. And this is done with craft recordings, originally released on Vanguard Records in 1966, which, real quick, VMP has an anthology box set that they put out with Vanguard Records, and the quality of that box set and the music that is on it and the recordings are absolutely audiophile quality. And the best part is it's very affordable. I mean, I think it's actually one of their cheaper anthology sets on their site, but even if you go get it on Discogs, I actually got it used on Discogs, and I think I only got it for like $150. So we're going to talk about that one again in the future because it totally turned my opinion on to folk music and things like that, and the quality of that set was just amazing, and the quality of this one is also amazing, being a Vanguard recording. Vanguard really knew how to record live music, and this is, like we said, a half live set and a half studio set. This record starts out with a lot of what I'm just going to call scatting, but it's really just Junior Wells just feeling it on stage with like but like the fidelity of the recording is just so great. And if you like blues but more on the funky side that grooves a little bit harder, this is definitely your jam. I would say it's probably like rhythm and blues. There's a lot of really good playing on this record, and the energy from the live sets is captured very well. This also has a listening notes booklet from Dr. Francesca T. Royster. Now, this might be the last of these types of booklets that we see from Classic Records of the Month, because one other thing to note, if you don't like the extra booklets that VMP included, which I did very much, I actually preferred the smaller booklets that they used to have that everyone else hated on so much. So they stopped making them because everyone hated on them so much. And then they went over to the normal ones for the classics, and now they're not doing any at all. So instead, they're doing now a monthly magazine, which will give you a similar feel with extras and the hints of all the upcoming records of the month. It's pretty cool. Again, I preferred the smaller booklets. You can't please everybody all the time. And at the end of the day, you get a cool magazine. So I enjoy the magazine. It's pretty cool. It's not my favorite thing, but it's pretty awesome. Now, the last record that I got for September was actually an exclusive that was pre-ordered a while back. I think I might have been waiting like 3 or 4 months for this one, but it was 1,000% worth the wait. This is Juan Pablo Torres y Grupo Algo Nuevo Super Son. I hope I got that right. This is a Mr. Bongo reissue. Now, side note, I wish that I could just buy all of the music on Mr. Bongo's website. I have very much considered doing that for just an entire year. Maybe 2025 will be that year. But this is on red translucent vinyl and is limited to 300 foil stamped copies. Mine is number 226. This might now be on the wait list at VMP at this point, but you can probably still pick it up on Discogs. And if you just want the black vinyl, you can go to Mr. Bongo and get it there. This is a ridiculously sick record. I cannot stop listening to it. This is like psych, Afro-funk, Latin. The production quality on this is amazing. I'm not sure if this is a AAA lacquer pressing or not, and I do not care. This originally came out in 1977, and to get a pristine or mint edition, you're going to pay over in the hundreds easily for this. This is on Erito Records, which is, I think how you pronounce it, which is a Cuban label. The percussion on this is so good, and it cuts so well with so much clarity, but the guitar work, there are times that it just makes me laugh because it is so good. It's like got this fuzzy Latin guitar sound. This is produced by Juan Pablo Torres, and I'm pretty sure he is also the trombone player on it. But the music on this is so good. Like I said, that fuzzy guitar is just awesome. If you like any of that kind of stuff at all, you are absolutely going to love this record. So that does it for the September bundle. I also got some socks. Seriously, those were supposed to come with the anthology set for Impulse, and it's a little weird that they even included them at all, but I do think that they did the same thing with the Stax anthology, but you watch, in like 10 to 15 years from now, those things are going to be worth a fortune. Stupid stuff like that always is. Here is the October bundle. Now, we have the October magazine, and there is a great discussion in this on whether or not you can kill zombies with vinyl. Spoiler, Probably not, but it was a good discussion. I enjoy wasting time. As I said, I am a super lazy person. All three of the records that I got this month in the bundle are ones that I've never heard before, and if that is the case, I'll sample it a little bit just to see if I want it, or I'll swap it out or something. But in this case, I was trusting them, especially with this first one. But when you hear this, I'm just going to read straight from the Obi here. While blues scholars debate his age at the time of his passing, some say 107 and others claim 96, one fact is true. In his long life, Gus Cannon altered the evolution of American roots music. But in comparison to his contribution, so few knew his name. The album that you hold in your hands right now is, in fact, one of the rarest blues albums to have ever existed on vinyl. Its original run of no more than 500 copies was distributed almost entirely in 1963 within the Memphis metro area. It has existed for years in a netherworld of rare albums and obscure banjo blues, a genre with an even tinier market today than the already small one back then in 1963. The songs here, plus a few appearances on some blues compilations, round out his brief au revoir. With that unique Venn diagram, Gus Cannon's music understandably wasn't anyone's priority for a reissue until now on Vinyl Me Please. Walk Right In represents an anomaly in blues albums. It not only captures Cannon's playing, but also features his running commentary on how he found the songs and what they mean to him. He even tells some jokes. It's not just a studio album. These 30 minutes capture what it must have sounded like to catch Cannon down on the corner of Beale and 2nd. This is not just any reissue. It's an earnest attempt to keep the flame of Gus Cannon's memory burning into a second century, a chance to extend his legacy just a little bit longer. I mean, come on, man. I mean, what else are you possibly asking for? What else would anybody be possibly asking for from a reissue or of something that might be off the beaten path? So this is Gus Cannon, Walk Right In, the VMP Essential Record of the Month for October of 2024 from Ryan Smith at Sterling Sound. Another done with Craft Recordings. This is done on a yellow or more like a tannish color opaque vinyl. And this comes with a very cool art piece as well. Again, there's no booklet in this one. This is the first, I guess, of the Essentials to not have a booklet. There was a write-up in this in the previous month's magazine talking about how they got the master tapes and how they acquired this thing and everything. Like I said, this was originally released on Stax Records in 1963. And if you want to talk about a record that VMP should be doing and the fact that they put it out as an essential record of the month, this record is pure history. And the OG goes for like $3,500. And there's one out there right now on Discogs. It's never been reissued on vinyl before. And so, in my opinion, man, this is why you sign up for this service. I am not a huge blues fan. In fact, I don't have many blues albums at all. I'm not even that big of a fan of this particular record. I mean, this is a lot of this guy talking. As they mentioned, it feels like you just walked right up to him on the street and this dude just started talking to you and playing his banjo. I love music, and this is a piece of history. And I do enjoy the moments when he does play. And this is 1,000% something that 10 years ago, maybe even 5 years ago, I never ever would have considered this in my collection. But this super rare blues record coming from Stax Records, which is mostly known for being a soul label, this is the kind of stuff that you should be expecting from Vinyl Me Please, and that hopefully Vinyl Me Please will continue to do. Now, speaking of, the Classics Record of the Month for October 2024 is the Eastern Moods of Ahmed Abdul Malik, AAA lacquer cut from Ryan Smith at Sterling Sound, also from Craft Recordings, and originally released on Prestige Records in 1963. And this is recorded by Rudy Van Gelder, so right away, this is, for lack of a better term, has prestige to it. So this record, apparently there is a lot of talk about this record. I heard a lot of people being excited about this, even while trashing Vinyl Me Please in the moments that they're excited about this. I see a lot of comments on Reddit like, they're offering pure garbage now, but that Ahmed Abdul Malik, that's a quality record. And they're right. This is an amazing sounding record. And I already mentioned at WCB Jazz Vinyl, but he did a great video on just this record. And he talked about how this is the stereo edition, which it's never actually been released before on stereo. And apparently the OGs are all on recycled vinyl, which has a very high noise floor. So to get this record, besides this release from Vinyl Me Please in this stunning jacket and quality vinyl, you're going to pay upwards of $700, and it's not even going to sound as good. And people complain about Vinyl Me Please's prices, but you got to put this entire hobby into perspective. And the biggest perspective that you can have is, do you like the music? And this record is killer. If you like anything with like Eastern Arabic type sounds, like, no shit, that's what it's called, Eastern sounds. But I'm a percussionist and I love hearing hand percussion. And there are some moments on this record that are just awesome with like tabla drums and congas. And I love the timbre of what I think is the Korean reed flute on side one. But then side two, he plays what's called, I believe the pronunciation is oud. It's spelled O-U-D. It's an Arabic string instrument that in the stereo separation on this record sounds amazing. It's like, it's hard left and then the percussion is hard right, and it just sounds stunning. And it is really, really hypnotic. And I feel like if you like stuff from like Gabor Szabo and things like that, you are absolutely going to like this, or obviously like Ravi Shankar and things like that. But it's not a sitar. It's not that type of sound. It has more of a bite to it than a sitar, but I've never really heard anything like it before, and it sounds amazing. So I am very, very glad to own this record now. And also recorded by Rudy Van Gelder. I mean, the man just knows how to record live instruments so well, and the percussion on this sounds amazing. And again, this is not something that I probably ever would have had if I was not a member of Vinyl Me Please. I know I'm like gushing about this kind of stuff, but this is what you got to think about. Ahmed Abdul Malik, not Creedence Clearwater Revival. I know Creedence is coming in November, and that's really cool and all. Ahmed Abdul Malik, this is what you want. And finally, just like last month in September, we got another awesome banger exclusive variant from Mr. Bongo. This one, Los Reyes 73, is also one that I've been waiting on for a while. And again, completely worth the wait. This is a purple variant, just like the Juan Pablo Torres, limited to 300 copies and foil stamped and numbered. You can also get an alternate cover version of this from Mr. Bongo direct. I also saw Mike from the In-Groove talking about this as well with that alternate cover. And I might actually do that because I love alternate covers. I'm a big fan of those types of things. But this is another from, I believe it's Erito Records in Cuba, originally released in 1975, even though it says Los Reyes 73. This is another, like that Juan Pablo Torres, that just hits so hard. The rhythms and the clave in this are just so thick and articulate, and the production on this record is so good. This is apparently produced by Raul Gomez, who I don't know who that is, but he is listed on this hype sticker, and goddamn if this is an amazing production. I listened to this record twice immediately when I got it. I just had to immediately flip it back over again and listen to it again, which I'm glad to say my October records arrived in mid-October this month, so hopefully Vinyl Me Please has got that figured out now. But damn, this is so good. The vocals are so out front, but the percussion and the instruments of this era, the clavinet, the fuzzy guitar, it all just works and sounds so good. I cannot recommend either of these two exclusives, this or the Juan Pablo Torres, enough. Again, go get them from Mr. Bongo or from like Mike from the In-Groove or from Discogs, whatever you want to do, but definitely go check out these records because they're really good. I will say this. I will just put this out there. Years from now, when no one else is pressing this again and these have gone to being back into obscurity, you will be happy if you have one of the 300 purple editions of this out there. So that's another reason why I like to go to Vinyl Me Please for some of these exclusive variants. One of the ones that I got before was an Errol Stubbs, which was only limited to 100 copies. So again, really cool stuff. At the end of the day, I'm not ashamed to highly recommend and push any records that I got last month or this month, because these are some of the coolest pieces of vinyl that I now have in my collection. Yes, I could have gotten them from Mr. Bongo or maybe from Kraft direct. However, VMP is like your cool friend who hears about stuff over the grapevine, from super rare blues to far off jazz or even Afro psych stuff or whatever, or even 90s hip hop. And next month, we are getting some classic rock from Creedence Clearwater Revival, coming in for people who have the very diverse collections of hard rock and classic rock, for the ones that have both genres of music.
What kind of music do you usually have here?
Oh, we got both kinds. We got country and western.
So there is a lot that I did like from these past 2 months from Vinyl Me Please, honestly, and the music itself is what has ever inspired me to make the videos about Vinyl Me Please. The music is where I start with any of this stuff with records, but when I have a choice between two records and one is a really cool color variant and the other's not, and they both sound the same and they're both the exact same pressing, I'm definitely going to take the color variant every time. And if you're going to throw in some extra artwork or some things like that and just some cool stuff, then yeah, I mean, that's really cool. I mean, I'm interested in that kind of stuff. That's why I collect vinyl records. But the music is where it starts. The music is what initially pushes me, and I would not feel motivated at all to make videos about Vinyl Me Please if I didn't think that they had good music choices. Los Reyes 73, Juan Pablo Torres, Ahmed Abdul Malik, these are really good choices. I'm sorry, if you're not into them, that's cool. You don't have to be into them. I'm not saying you should be into them, but these are still really cool choices, so just consider that. Hopefully Vinyl Me Please does not have any more delays with their records of the month, and we can talk about Creedence Clearwater Revival in November when it comes out next month. If you enjoyed this video, you're probably gonna like some others on the channel, like these ones here. I'm gonna go listen to that Los Reyes 73 and chill. I will see you on the next one.